Hey guys, it's Core Ross and welcome to 6 News. So today we have the Year 7 Season 1 pre-season designer notes. So this is like the cut down patch notes with the balancing changes for operators. So let's run through it. First we've got our, of course, win deltas and all that. So this is ranked PC, Platinum and above. And this is the distilled information down from what they use for balancing. So this is a simplified version. Obviously, Finka here is an outliner. She's quite high up. Decent pick rate at 50% and she's winning quite a lot of games. Yana doing quite well as well. And Ash has dropped down. We can also see Zofia over here with Hibana. So she has gone like crazy up here and then crazy back down. And Sledge is actually really high up. Thatcher up here. Twitch is quite high. Very interesting actually to see the selection operators that are kind of popping into this overpicked area. We seem to have a lot less operators in the kind of center area where they want operators to be, you know, these are like the perfectly balanced ops. So we've got Buck, we got Thermite, we've got Flores, and then we have outliners going down here. Interesting indeed, really is. And Money not doing so well down here along with Glass, Cali down here. Capital's not getting picked at all. Very interesting. But let's take a look at defenders. So again, rank PC, Platinum and above. We've got Jaeger up here with a big pick rate, but losing a little bit more games now. We've got Valkyrie up here, and she is getting balanced this season. We've got Malusi as well. And then this is really good, a lot in this kind of central area, with Aruni actually being perfect. Perfectly balanced operator. Thorn's doing really good. And then of course we have Clash and we have Changka. I wonder how Changka is going to be affected by Goyu's rework this season, because of course he is much more in line now with kind of what Changka is doing. But obviously he can do it at range, whereas he has to pre-place them. So yeah, I'm curious to see if that will actually change that. And yeah, other operators are mostly where we would expect them to be. Capcan, Frost here. Yeah, quite a good defender graph actually. I think the attacker one to me doesn't look so good, but the defender one actually looks all right. Moving down, we have our ban rates. So we've got Thatcher, Jackal, then no ban, then Monty. So obviously Thatcher being extremely good. That ban rate is going to change. We got a little teaser of what's coming in the future. He's getting reworked and we're getting potentially a secondary gadget that's going to be doing something like the hard breaching secondary is going to be doing with him. So that'll be interesting. And Jackal actually quite high, especially, you know, Platinum and above. So they hate him just as much as the low ranks, it would seem. Going down to defenders, we've got Mira, Valkyrie, then we've got Kaid and Clash. These two, not exactly a surprise. I wonder what the change will do to, if that will bring her pick rate down at all, or if it's going to stay roughly the same. And then nothing surprising down here with the rest of the operators. So yeah, let's get moving down. So gameplay reworks. We've got attacker repick, where this is the ability for the attackers in the prep phase to change their operator. Now, while actually doing this on the test server, and we only had a few games, but I actually played Kaid one round and I actually immediately spawned and ran away and hid, so they wouldn't know that I had Kaid. So it's going to change up tactics in a different way, and I don't know if it's going to make attackers too powerful or more balanced, because of course defenders can pick what they want, but attackers have to guess. Now they can actually counter, and I wonder how that's going to play out. So this is going to change pro play, it's going to change everybody's play basically, and I am not sure how exactly it's going to work out, but I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays in the test server, and I think it is a good change, but we'll see. Then we've got sights and scopes. So first of all 1x sights are now available on all your guns. So if you can put sights on your guns, you can put any of the 1x on. And then when it comes to other modifications, that is a balancing thing. So if you already had 2.5, then you'll have the 2.5s available. If you had the 2x available, you got a 2x. If you had a 1.5, they're still the same on the operators. I did notice one optic change, and that was Fuse. He lost the 2x and actually got a 2.5 ACOG and Russian one. So that's the only sight I could see that was actually changed balance-wise. They don't mention it in here, but I noticed that in the early access build. This is something I have really, really wanted to see, and it is just brilliant to be able to use any 1x scope I want. I'm so happy with that. They do mention down here that Changka's unique reflex sight will stay unique to Changka, so not a surprise there. But there has been other unique sights like the one on Nomad's AK. You can use that on any gun you want, and that's a beautiful little reflex sight, so awesome. Then we've got outside cameras and drones. You will remember this one. This came from last season, but they had to pull it. There was some sort of issue with it. They couldn't go ahead with it. I think it was due to some issues inside the map was actually causing cameras to time out, and they have managed to fix that. That is coming for this season. So how it's going to work out for operators is Echo and Mozzie get a buff because their drones will actually last longer outside. You can actually now drive them out, have a good look at the external wall, and drive back in, and you have a good chunk of time. It's 10 seconds. So that means you can go out and potentially see someone on a wall and then immediately do a run out and kill them. Or you can go out, have a little look, see if someone's out there. If not, drive your drone back in. So there's a lot of options with Mozzie and Echo with this. But for Valkyrie, any cameras outside will time out after 10 seconds. That is long enough to throw it out and check an external wall. But of course, pre-placing them to start the round or stuff like that is just going to be out of the question now. And I love it. But of course, I'm assuming a lot of people will hate this change. So we'll see how this goes for Valkyrie. But honestly, I see this as a buff because I think this will mean more cameras on site or on the approaches to site. And I think that's actually going to buff Valkyrie players rather than nerf them. But we'll see. Then we've got the Goyu Rework. I've done a dedicated video going over this in the early access. I think it's brilliant. And I've been amazed at the comments saying, oh, I only played Goyu for the deployable shields. Yeah, that's the problem. That's a secondary gadget. It's not a main gadget. So I think this is a lot better. He gets 4 of them. I think it's going to be very hard to play them well though. And I don't know if this is going to help him. I think it's like the Changka rework where I don't really think it's going to help his pick rate. So I think he will go down. It is effectively a nerf, I think, but a good nerf. I think he's also going to be more fun to play with this as well. But of course, that's early access, me talking there. We haven't had enough time to really play with them to see how he's actually going to play in normal games. So Melusia is getting a little bit of a nerf. What's happening here is that her gadget is going to open and close faster. So when you walk up to it and you start to get affected by it, the actual thing's going to open quicker so you can shoot it faster. It used to take 2 seconds, now it's going to take 0.75 seconds, but it's also going to close faster. So if you'll move out of the area and then try to shoot it, you will probably be looking at a bulletproof gadget. And then this one here is super tiny. So what this is, if you throw a Valkyrie camera and then go into your cameras, you'll have to wait for it to actually land on a surface before you can see it. I'm not even talking a video feed, just the fact that there's a little dot there on your HUD. So what happens now is you throw it, you can immediately go into the camera, you can immediately go onto that camera, it'll be black until it lands on a surface, but it means you can be ready for it to immediately land on a surface, immediately have a look and do a run out or whatever you need to do. So honestly, it is a super tiny change and you don't really have to worry about it. You're probably not going to see this much and it won't make a huge difference, I think, but there might be people out there who are getting annoyed by that, and that just kind of fixes that issue. Then, Thunderbird is getting a little bit of a nerf. No more overheals. It will not overheal a player if they're at 100% health. So no more overheals. This means it's only going to heal operators. Now this is either a nerf or a buff, because of course overheals are nice, but sometimes you accidentally get an overheal when you don't really want it. Now the heal stations are actually healing people back up rather than just doing overheals. And then Callie is getting a buff, so she is going to be able to move faster with her sniper rifle. That is brilliant, and I guess that's just because she's having, some issues. If we jump back to that balancing graph for obviously the PC Platinum and above, you can see that she's not doing well at all. She's really low, so she'll now be able to move quicker with her sniper rifle out, and maybe that will help her just a little bit. Obviously, they're not doing much to her. I assume if they were to do any major changes, just like with Glass, then they would go shooting all the way up here, because that's what happens with snipers when you buff them in Siege. We've seen it multiple times. They go freaking nuts. It's very hard to get them balanced in the middle here, and that's probably why they're doing little increment changes with the sniper rifles. But there we go, guys. That is our first look at the balancing changes for year 7, season 1. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and we'll get full patch notes tomorrow with the launch of the test server. And that'll be a 3-month test server, most likely with the season launching in the second week of March. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.